Hello everyone, Talkbox Podcast here today with you, and I am Laserhead, aka Harry, and with me we have the MC Adam.
What's up? I'm operating the camera.
So today we're doing a Magic the Gathering Cons of Tarkir booster box opening since the set was officially released today, and I don't really want, I'm not going to waste any time, so let's just get right on to fun stuff. I'm going to do my best to not really spend much time talking about the commons or anything. I'll be talking mainly about the uncommons and rares, and if I see a common that stands out that's good and like for sealed or something, I'll try to mention it. But alright, here we go. I'm just going to go left to right. First pack. We got Salt Road Patrol, Skaldkin, Archer's Parapet, Dutiful Return,
Duty.
Summit Prowler, Rugged Highlands,
oh,
one of
cool.
the nice new refuges that they got for every dual color. Killshot, Sultai Banner, Force Away, Windscarred Crag,
Oh, Moreland.
and here the uncommons, Mardu Heartpiercer. This guy's pretty nice. He did some nice work in the pre-releases, getting to deal 2 damage if you attacked with a creature this turn, just as you could play him. Kara Bloodsucker. He's pretty nice. 3 mana, 2/2, and whenever a creature you control with toughness 4 or greater dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, and you can just sack creatures to him to make this guy bigger. So, it works really nice with Sultai, since you want stuff in your graveyard. And Warname Aspirant. 2 mana for a 2/1, and if you attack the creature this turn, it enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, and it can't be blocked with creature's power less than 1 or less, so that's pretty nice. You get a 3/2 for 2 mana that can only be blocked by certain creatures. And the rare is Dragonstyle Twins.
Yes, guy.
5 mana, 3/3, Double Strike Prowess. Pretty nice.
America.
I actually haven't seen him used at all, so I can't really say if he's good. He seems like he'd be pretty nice and sealed, but I don't think he'd be that great in standard. Possibly EDH, because it's EDH. And plains and a Morph Token. Second pack.
Ooh, look at the morph token. The warp token. It's kind of cool. It's blurry. It probably look better on the computer.
It's a nice upgrade from the old spider token.
Yeah, and
that was Pat, Q Master,
Q Master's here too. He's
in the background.
My name is inconsistent.
that's the joke.
Alright, in the second bag we got Anok Tracker, Woolly Lockston, Bitter Revelation. This card is pretty nice and sealed, getting to pretty much scry 4 essentially, but you get to fill your graveyard, so it's nice for Sultai cards again.
And Swords
on the artwork.
Swords dope.
Alright, and then we got Embodiment of Spring, which is a nice 1 mana 0/3 blocker, and then on turn 2 you can Rampant Growth with him if you need to. And we got Dismal Backwater, the Demir Refuge, Tormenting Voice, Efreet Weapon Master,
Just kidding.
War Behemoth. This guy's pretty nice because he's got a high toughness and he just dodges Smite the Monstrous, the new removal spell. It's always rampant. Bloodfell Caves.
If you get all 10 lands in the first 5 packs, I'm gonna be impressed.
And now we got Opulent Palace, which is the Sultai tricolor land. It's pretty nice. Always nice to have mana fixing. Jeskai Elder. 2 mana, 1/2 prowess. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's nice if you can get him out early enough and sealed, but if you don't get him out that early, he won't be all that effective because you won't be able to hit the player with him. And we got Sultai Soothsayer. And it's battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest in the graveyard. Again, great for Sultai since you just get to start filling up the graveyard and get card advantage. And now for the rare, we got Mind Swipe, blue, red, and an X. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X, and it deals X damage to that spell's controller.
It's a good EDH card.
Yeah, it's good at EDH. I feel like this could see some play in standard, because it's a syncopate and a fireball in one, but it's just the downside is you have to have a spell that you can counter for it to be of use.
Could be good for my Melik deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got foil swamp, and another morph token.
So many. It's a shiny swamp.
Alrighty, pack number 3. Alright, we got Salt Road Patrol. This guy's pretty good if you're for going Abzan or just white in general and you want a nice defensive blocker for pretty early on. Since he's a 2/5 toughness creature with Outlast. Disdainful Stroke. Canyon Lurkers. Smite the Monstrous. This is if you're running white, you want to have like as many of these as you can get in the deck, since there's so many creatures in this set that have power 4 or greater, and it's a 4-mana instant. It's really nice removal. Archer's Parapet. It's pretty nice. It's a 2-mana 0/5 wall that can start draining people. Jeskai Banner.
Jeskai.
Naturalize. It's a good sideboard card if you're running green for sealed events, because there's a lot of artifacts as in mana rocks, and the ascendancies are always dangerous if you don't have a way to get rid of them. Blossoming Sands.
Slazdia land.
Refugees. Teru Dreadmaw. This guy's decent. I mean, I never really saw him play at all, so I don't think he's that great, but he's a 5-mana 4/4 defender.
It's a zombie crocodile. Why would you not want that?
Card type's cool, yeah. But his ability, it's not all that great, I don't think. To 2-mana sack creature, gain life equal to toughness. 5-mana 0/7 defender. 2-mana untap to tap target creature for an uncommon. I feel like he's not that great. I feel like you can get better output for the mana cost. Ice Feather Aven. This guy is so nice and sealed. Drop him down as a 3/3 morph, flip him face up for a blue, green, and white, or colorless, and you get to bounce a creature back to its owner's hand.
Whew.
Really nice.
That's nice.
Especially with all the morph cards, you can just bounce a morph to see what it is. Dead Drop. With Delve, target player sacks 2 creatures. So it's 10 mana, but Delve makes the cost a lot less, so potentially it could just cost 1 mana and just exile 9 cards in the graveyard. But since it's not an instant, I'm not a huge fan of the card, but it's not horrible, but it's not great either. And then Herald of Anafenza. 1 mana for a 1/2 with Outlast of 3. Whenever you activate his Outlast ability, you put a 1/1 white warrior creature token onto the battlefield. So he's really nice and strong. Like, he's really strong if you get, especially if you get him out early, because he's not like most of the time he'll be able to like just trade with a other 1 or 2 drops, or just last long enough where you tap him for Outlast, where normally you wouldn't be able to block, but then you just get a token to block with him as he's getting bigger.
Yeah, because it's turn 1 if you get him out, and then turn 3 you get a +1/+1 counter on him and a token.
Yeah, and then every turn after that you can just keep buffing him up with the Outlast until he's big enough that you want him, and you'll have an army of warriors.
Very popular on this set.
So next is the Kero Bloodsucker, as we already talked about. This one foil.
Shady.
Nice with Solitai, since they like to have big fatties as blockers early on, since they're not very aggressive. Swamp and a zombie token.
It's a cool zombie token.
Alrighty. Pack 4.
Freaking door knocker.
Alrighty. We got Arrow Storm. This is pretty nice and sealed. Deals 4 damage to target creature or player, which is nice. And if you attack with a creature this turn, it deals 5 damage instead, which can't be prevented, but the prevented part's not really a huge role. Comes in every now and then. Mordu Horde Chief. This guy's really nice and sealed. 3 mana for a 2/3, and then raid effect is you get a 1/1 warrior token. So for 3 mana you get a total of 3 power, 4 toughness, which is always nice, in form of 2 bodies. Whirlwind Adept. This guy's pretty good just because of the hexproof, but I wasn't a huge fan of the mana cost. So by that point he'll just be able to die just from someone blocking him anyways. Shatter, destroy target artifact. Woolly Loxodon. Krumar Bondkin. Scout the Borders. Lens of Clarity. At first I thought this card would be pretty nice, but most of the time it's only good if you're running against someone who's like literally every creature in their deck is a morph creature. Shambling Attendants. Blinding Spray. Creatures your opponents control get -4/-0 until end of turn, and you draw a card for 5 mana. Seems decent. I never actually saw it played, so I can't really say. But I feel like it's a nice if you're running Jeskai who wants lots of non-creature spells. So it's a cantrips. Jeskai Charm. These are all nice.
Money card right
for
there.
3 mana, you get to put target creature on top of its owner's library, deal 4 damage to target opponent, or creatures you control get +1/+1 and lifelink. So if you're running Jeskai, you'll want to have this in your deck. It's always really strong. All the charms are strong like this. And then we got Nomad Outpost, which is the Mardu tri-land. Always nice for mana fixing. And the rare is the Grim Haruspex. 3 mana for a 3/2. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card with Morph, so you can play it down for 3 and then unreveal it for 1. That seems pretty nice. Seems more of like an EDH card than standard though. Ooh, Foil and Hostilities. 5 mana, 2 white and 3 colorless to destroy all creatures and all permanents attached to creatures at sorcery speed. I feel like this card will be seeing some standard play since Supreme Verdict just rotated out, and it's only 1 mana more. But since we're now tricolors, I feel like a lot of the decks are going to be like 1 turn or 2 turns slower than they usually are, since all the tap lands come in. And we got a mountain and another morph token.
You're good with foils.
I know.
So far.
Gotten what, 3 so far?
Yeah.
Alrighty, pack number 5. We got Scaldkin, Bloodfire Expert, Feet of Resistance. I like this because if you're running Abzan, 2 mana, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it gains protection from the color of your choice till end of turn. At first, when I first played this card, I didn't realize it was a +1/+1 counter, so I thought it was just decent. But since it puts a +1/+1 counter on it, I feel like it's a really nice card to have at least a few of in your deck to put to 2 creatures. Cancel, typical cancel. Still pales in comparison to Dissolve, which is in standard currently. Smoke Telly. You get to look at morph creatures. Disowned Ancestor. This guy's nice. Turn 1, 0/4 with Outlast for 2 mana, so every turn you get to make him bigger. Golgari Refuge. Unyielding Krumar. 4 mana for a 3/3, but then you can pay 2 mana to give him First Strike. So if you're running black-white, he's a pretty nice creature to run, because he'll be pretty hard for people to remove, since he just dodges the Smite the Monsters. Mardu Banner, Mardu Mana Rock. Highland Game, 2 mana, 2/1. When it dies, you gain 2 life. I saw a bunch of people running this guy. I'm not a huge fan of it, since 2 life isn't all that big of a game changer, and since he only has 1 toughness, I'm not a huge fan of that guy. Chief of the Scale, for the first uncommon of this pack, black and a white, for all of the 2/3 and other warrior creatures you control get +0/+1. This guy's really nice because there's a lot of warrior creatures in the set, of both white and black, so he's very nice. Got the Abzan Tri-land, Sandstep Citadel. Another Jeskai Elder, as I've already talked about. And for the rare we have Deflecting Palm. Sorry. It's a red and a white. Instant, next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, Deflecting Palm deals that much damage to that source's controller. I feel like it might see some standard play, but I'm not too sure, since I'm not really a standard player. But I feel like it has a pretty good place in the EDH decks that run red-white, because it's a nice little surprise for people. And EDH is usually where the big damage is going to be.
And it's also cheap cost too.
Yeah, that too. And it's also just got a pretty gruesome looking artwork. Bones just coming out of your hand. And I got a forest and a warrior token. Alrighty. Pack number 6.
1/5 way through the box.
Yep. We got Shatter. Firehurf Cavalry. This guy's pretty good in sealed. 1 mana for a 1/1. Then on turn 4, you can start buffing him up. +2/+0 and trample for a red and 3 colorless. Wetland Sandbar. 2/1 elk for 2. Not really good at all. Valley Dasher. 2/2 haste, attacks each turn available.
Hells yeah.
It's pretty nice. I mean, turn 2 you're already swinging in with at least a 2/2, depending on what else you play turn 1. Another Archer's Parapet, always nice for seal. Rite of the Serpent, 6 mana to destroy target creature. If that creature had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield. I'm not a huge fan of that since it's sorcery speed.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, and it's 6 mana for it, so I personally wouldn't want to run that card. Jungle Hollow.
Golgari.
Refuge for Golgari.
I like the refuges.
Rakshasha's Secret. 3 mana. I love the word Rakshasha. Target opponent discards 2 cards and you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. It can be decent if you're running Sultai if you want to fill up your graveyard, but it might also backfire because in Sealed, especially in Sealed, since you won't have many ways of recurring stuff. Ponyback Brigade. This guy is really nice from Mardu. 6 mana regularly for 2/2, and when he enters the battlefield or is turned face up, you put 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. Or his unmorph is 5 mana. So you can drop him turn 3, and then on turn 5 you can unmorph him and get this 2/2 and then 3 1/1s. So you'll get 5 power and toughness in creatures from just 5 mana. So really nice. Longshot Squad, 4 mana Outlast, 4 mana and Outlast for 2. Each creature you control has with a +1/+1 counter on it has reach. He's decent if you're running Abzan colors and you're all about the Outlast and +1/+1 counters. For the uncommons, we got Timely Hordemate. Raid, 4 mana, 3/2, and raid whenever he enters the battlefield. You can return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This guy's really nice, especially if you're running Mardu, because a lot of the times you'll be in an aggressive deck. So you have a lot of low drop creature cards that fit this criteria, so you'll be able to swing in, or you'll swing in, trade with a guy, your guy will go to the graveyard and then just play this guy and just bring back the guy that just died. Seek the Horizon, love that artwork. Pretty nice, 4 mana, search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, put them in your hand. Always nice to be able to ramp and everything. Fix your colors too. Windstorm, instant, green and an X. Windstorm deals X damage to each creature with flying. Pretty nice, but very situational. It's only good if you're facing someone who has flying creatures, so probably a good sideboard card for Sealed. And Kratos Claw is the rare. Red and an X deals X damage to target creature or player, but if you have Ferocious, it deals X +2 damage. So if you have a creature with power 4 or greater, you can just pay 1 mana to do a shock, or additional damage just straight to the face. Alrighty, pack number 7. We got Anarch Tracer. Not a huge fan of in Seal. Defying Strike. It's a nice little cantrip, especially if you're running Jeskai and you want to trigger prowess. Alpine Grizzly. It's a bear, but it's not a bear at the same time since it's only a 4/2 now instead of 3/3s. Rotting Mastodon. Not a fan of him at all. 5 mana for a 2/8. Dismal Backwater. The Dimir Refuge. Tormenting Voice. Another Efreet Weapon Master. And another War Behemoth as well, along with Bloodfell Caves, the Rakdos Refuge, and Mystic of the Hidden Way. Can't be blocked, 3/2 for 5 mana, or a Morph of 3. Seems could be decent, but I don't know. Now for the uncommons, we have Burn Away, 5 mana, instant, deals 6 damage to target creature. When that creature dies this turn, exile all cards from its controller's graveyard. This card can be really nice, especially if you're facing a Sultai deck, but also just for the 6 damage, you'll be able to kill a lot of creatures that are in the set right now.
It's also nice for some EDH hate that plays on some graveyards.
True.
And doesn't have much graveyard hate.
We got Gurmag Swiftwing for 2 mana, a 1/2 flying, first strike and haste. I really like this guy, because for 2 mana you're getting a guy that has good evasion, can immediately swing, and it also has first strike, so if you can give him Death Touch somehow or something, it can be a really good blocker. And people won't be afraid to block him as well. And then we got Dragon's Eye Savants. 2 mana for a 0/6, but you can morph cost is you just reveal a blue card in your hand. You can unmorph it. So if you do that, whenever he's turned it face up, you get to look at target opponent's hand. So it's a nice way to like to tax and probe almost sort of effect. And also he's just a nice blocker for early game for blue. And then the rare is Crackling Doom, black, white, and red. Instant Crackling Doom deals 2 damage to each opponent, and then each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power among creatures he or she controls. That's a really nice card, and this will definitely see some standard play. I feel like that it's a removal and it's 2 damage for just 3 mana, and it's also I feel like it'll be really good in EDH as well, and it's also really nice and sealed. So all around, I feel like it's a good card. Alright.
Gets a talk box thumbs up.
And Spirit Token, which is cool.
Alrighty, pack number 8. Yeah, Glacial Stalker, 6 mana, 4/5, and more for 5. Hooting Mandrills, 6 mana for a 4/4 trample with Delve, so you can get them out early if you're running Sultai if you need them. Disowned Ancestor, again, nice guy, nice early creature to get out. Temur Banner, Temur Mana Rock. Force Away, these are always nice, just 2 mana instant, bounce a creature, and then if you have Ferocious Trigger available, you can cycle a card, so you can draw a card, then discard a card. We got Bring Low, 4 mana to deal 3 damage to target creature, or if that creature has a +1/+1 counter on it, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. So that's a pretty nice removal spell, and since it's an instant, I feel like that'll see some play in sealed. Probably not standard, just sealed. We got Rugged Highlands, the Gruul Refuge. We got Jeskai Student, 2 mana for a 1/3 with Prowess. This guy could see sealed play just because on turn 2 you can get 3 toughness out there as a blocker, and then if you have non-creature spells, when you attack with him he can become bigger. We got Abomination of Gadul. This to me personally is probably the best Sultai common you can pop, so if you pop him and you're running Sultai, it's a pretty good idea to have him in the deck. Normally it's a 6 mana, but you can play him face down for morph for 3, and then you can unmorph him for 5 mana, 2 colors, a black, green, and a blue, and he's a flyer, a 3/4 flyer, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can cycle a card, so that's just really nice card advantage in filling your graveyard up as well. Now the uncommons, Incremental Growth, 5 mana, pretty sure this is a reprint of a card. You get to put a +1 counter on target creature, 2 counters on another creature, and 3 on another creature. I feel like this is good in sealed. Maybe not in standard, although I'm not too sure, but I feel like this...
It's a modern staple.
Is it?
It was printed in Modern Masters.
Oh, well then there you go. It has its place in a modern deck then. And then we got Seeker of the Way. 2 mana for a 2/2 Prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he gains lifelink till end of turn. I feel like this guy is really nice and sealed. Also, he's a warrior too, so if you're running white and you have some of this Chief of the Scale or Chief of the Edge, he's pretty nice to throw in because you can get bigger and then just start healing yourself up. Speaking of warriors, we got Raider's Spoils, 4 mana enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+0, and whenever a warrior you control deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card. So that's a really nice card advantage for black, and it's pretty typical card advantage. You pay life to draw cards, so that's pretty nice. Oh, hello! Polluted Delta is our rare. That's a pretty nice pop right there. It's the Dimir fetch land. You get to pay on life and sack it, and as long as tapping it and you search it for a library for an island or small, you put it on the battlefield. And the foil is a Rush of Battle, 4 mana sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn, and warrior creatures you control gain lifelink till end of turn. So, as I said before, there's a recurring warrior theme, like warrior tribal theme in this set. This card is pretty dang nice because it allows you to get it, swing in for a lot of damage, and it, as a added bonus, if you have a bunch of warriors out, you'll be gaining a lot of life as well. So that's pretty nice and sealed. And then we got a island and a spirit warrior token. Alrighty, pack 9.
What's our time right now? 24. 95.
That's how much we got left.
That's how much this video, how long the video is.
Oh, alright, and then I'll try to go a little faster. Inox Tracker, Feet of Resistance, Cancel, Barrage of Boulders, Smoke Teller, Seduce's Pet, Shambling Attendants, Jungle Hollow, Highland Game, Absent Guide. This guy's really nice and sealed. 4 mana, 5 mana, 4/4 lifelink, and then more for 5. Dazzling Ramparts for the uncommon. Not a huge fan of him. High Spire Mantis, 4 mana for a 3/3 Flying Trample. Seems pretty nice and sealed and everything. Sultai Charm. I feel like this card kind of cheats the whole charm rule of having only 3 effects, since it technically has 4, because it can destroy target monocolored creature, can destroy target artifact or enchantment, and then you can draw 2 cards and discard a card. I feel like all in all, if you're running Sultai, you'll want to run this charm and seal, especially. Ooh, and the rare is Temor Sentency. 3 mana, creatures you control have haste, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. This card's just really nice in both sealed and EDH, maybe standard if someone's running Temor, because it's just card advantage for those colors, and all your creatures gain haste. Alrighty, next back. Gonna try to speed things up a bit more though. Don't want to drag on the video too long. Alright, we got a Smite the Monstrous, really good removal for the set. Treasure Cruise, pretty nice card advantage, because once you get late game, it can be 1 mana, draw 3 cards. Another Arrow Storm, and another Martyr Horde Chief, both pretty good and sealed. Alpine Grizzly, decent if you're running Temor, so since it procs the Ferocious ability on turn 3. Sultai Scavenger, pretty nice creature, 6 mana, Delve, Flying, 3/3. If you need a flyer, you can get him out pretty cheaply. Awaken the Bear, 3 mana, target creature gains +3/+3 and trample until end of turn, has instant speed.
I feel like I need that card just for the purpose that it's called Awaken the Bear.
There's a lot of bear themed cards in this set. I like it a lot.
I keep telling people to watch out for bears, and no one listens to me. Then this set comes out.
You're a prophet.
I am
you
a prophet.
Saw this.
The prophet of Krufix.
Dutiful Return. It's pretty nice, but return 2 creatures from your gravity hand. Wasn't a huge fan of it though. Jeskai Banner. Naturalize. A Scion of Glaciers, 4 mana, 2/5, and you can pump a blue into him to give him +1/-1 to end of turn. So he's a nice blocker. And then once he doesn't need to block anymore, you can buff him up big to swing in for a lot of damage. Another Keru Bloodsucker. Murderous Cut. I feel like this card will be seeing a lot of standard play. If you pop this in a draft or something, it could also arguably be your first pick, since a few turns in, it can be a 1 mana destroy target creature at instant speed, since it has Delve. It's really nice. And then our rare is a Mardu Ascendancy. Whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token onto the battlefield, attacked and attacking. And you can sacrifice this to give creatures you control +0/+3 till end of turn. So if you're running Mardu and you pop this in a draft or a sealed, that'll be a really nice bonus for you, because all the ascendancies are pretty strong. This one especially, it'll definitely put on the pressure on your opponent, and it'll also help your creatures survive board wipes and such. And we've got a Swamp and another Morph token.